All right, hello folks. Just coming at you with a quick video to give you my recommendations, my observations, and I guess my thoughts on using the test site, okay, for this year's AP exam. Now, hopefully you've already read through the 2020 AP testing guide. It's kind of long, but it'll go quick. A lot of good stuff there. Hopefully you've already watched this overview video AP put together. Okay, here's my video that I'm making now. I wonder what would happen if I click on that. That's trippy. We won't go there. Okay, I'm just going to walk you through the exam demo here, and then once you watch this video, you're definitely going to open this up, try it for yourself. Okay, so here we go. All right, so when I click the exam demo, it's going to take me to a mock login page. On actual AP exam day, it's going to prompt you for your AP ID that they're going to email out to you. For now, the code word's just practice to get in. And I can do this multiple times if I want to take this more than once. If I want to practice more than once, try some different stuff, I'm okay doing that. Okay, get started, and it's going to begin with some login information. Actual exam day is going to have more than this, but this is going to be what you're going to want to open up half an hour before the exam, so at 2:30 on the 15th, and start filling things in. If it takes you longer than until 3 o'clock to fill this stuff in, that's going to cut into your exam time. Okay, so I'll just let Google fill it in for me. All right, testing from home. Looks like we're good. Now, trick is you do have to click on this I agree to terms and conditions to move on. Okay, so I'm going to click continue. And notice this timer is still counting down for me. Okay, there's time till my exam. I can't start it early, but I definitely want to on exam day be all logged in, have all this stuff done with. Okay, so it's counting down till 3 o'clock where everybody in the country starts the exam at the same time. I'm going to pause this so we don't have to watch this timer. All right, so there we go. We're counting down to the exam start time. Again, get the information filled in well ahead of time, and you may begin. Okay, so this is a pretend question one. It just gives you some exam tips and reminders on how to fill things out. Okay, the timer's right here. They kind of mentioned this in the video, but I guess the setup I'd recommend to do is to take this window off, click it to the left side of your screen, and then I can pull up my rest of my web browser right here. And that way I can, whoops, I want to minimize this, don't I? Minimize, then click. This will be stuff you want to practice ahead of time. Then I can look through my question. I can hide and show my timer, and then do the actual typing in this screen here. Okay, what can you type on? It could be a Word document. If you want to do an actual text document, you could do that. I'd recommend just go with a Google Doc. Okay, that's probably the simplest thing if you're using a Chromebook you can use. And notice mine's already set up already. I've got my pretend ID at the top. I've already got my initials here. I've already got a header for part A, and I'm ready to start typing code here. Okay, few things I did. Number one, I switched the font ahead of time to Courier New. That is to make it look like I'm on an IDE, a development environment. Okay, that's the font you're going to be used to, so go ahead and do that. I've got my spacing set up single space just so I don't have any weird spaces in here. And then one other thing I did is I went to preferences and I got rid of automatically capitalizing words. That way when I start typing something like a method, public, static, okay, it didn't capitalize this public and make it so I have to actually go back and fix this. And from there, I'm good to go. Okay, again, my spacing option is just set up to make things look like code. I am going to use tabs just to make this look as nice as possible. For the person reading it, okay, I want to make this look like code as much as I can. Okay, as far as submitting goes, I'd recommend the copy and paste method. Okay, definitely wouldn't recommend trying to write this out. Okay, I think a lot of students probably lose credit just because you can't read their writing. Okay, type things out, and then what you're going to want to do is do the paste response deal here. Okay, so notice I can't actually type in this box. What I can do, though, is it's pretty simple, just to cut or copy and paste. My formatting goes in there, and then once things are pasted, I can submit it. Okay, clear field will clear things out, so I could start with that over again. I can still go back here once I go into this screen. And I've got all this time, okay, for the actual test day, it's going to be 30 minutes for question 1, 20 minutes for question 2. I've got all that time, that entire 30 minutes, to read through the question and paste the answer in. Okay, I could do it before the timer goes red down here, before the last 5 minutes. Okay, I can still be working on the question and paste it with 10 seconds left. The big thing is you want to make sure that for sure things get pasted before that timer runs out. So I'm going to paste things in. I'm going to hit yes, submit. So even though I'm ahead of that 5-minute window, I can still paste things. Okay, yep, submit things in. That question's done. One thing I heard from a presentation is if it's still spinning and processing your answer, that's okay. You can still move on to question 2. But as you notice here, I've still got time left for question 1. So now that's turned into time until question 2. At this point, I can't go back and work on question 1. I can't start on question 2. I'm stuck between. So there's really no reason to race through question 1 to get to question 2. You won't get any extra time. Okay, again, I'm going to pause this video here and let the timer run out. All right, so there we go. We got our countdown to question 2 wrapping up. Again, everybody at the same time across the country will be beginning question 2. And same thing, question will be here. You can type things up here. Okay. Couple other things. This year's test is open note, just because it would be impossible to actually supervise everybody at the same time. So I can have my cheat sheet, which hopefully you're starting to put together alongside of me. I can have Google opened up, ready to go as well. Now, with that in mind, they're probably going to give you questions that you can't Google. So if you need to know how a specific command works, maybe that helps. Okay, but you can have Google ready to go. And like I said, you can even have a compiler ready to go. So I've got CodeBoard, for example, here. What I could do, and I'd want to do this ahead of time, is create a new project. Okay, I'm going to want it in the Java language. Create. Open that up. So again, this would be something ahead of time. I guess I wouldn't recommend this. I'll show you why in a second. It's going to automatically have a main method for you here. And I suppose I need to make this bigger to add a file. So if I make fake class.java, okay, I've then got another class I can start writing or copying, pasting code into. Okay, I guess I wouldn't recommend relying on a compiler to help you out, just because it's really not going to help you. We'll show you why. If, for example, I go into one of the projects I put together for you guys, such as week 4 runner code, there's a lot of code you have to run to actually test things. And even in the class you're writing, you're filling in some of the code. Some of it's written for you. You could copy and paste. But to actually test this is all code I had to write to actually make the tests work. Okay, so I guess I wouldn't recommend doing that. I wouldn't recommend relying on a compiler, aside from anything like testing very little chunks of code to see if they work the way you think they're going to work. Just because by the time you actually write all the tests out, your time's going to be way before up. Okay, so it is allowed. I wouldn't rely on it. Maybe you practice using it a little bit for the next set of free response questions on Moodle, but I wouldn't say, hey, this is going to be an easy test just because I do have a compiler available. Okay, so a few options for you, but I don't think they're going to help you all that much. Again, type the code up, paste it in. You've got the entire time until this timer runs up, and then your test is done. Okay, hopefully that was informative. Hopefully that helps you. Again, that was just my 2 cents, my recommendations. Do practice this process, okay, on the exam demo site before you actually get to test day.